The walk starts in Patterdale and goes along this track here. There's the footpath sign for the track. Now on the lowland section of path, heading towards Boredale Hause. Look at the weather. That's looking back to Patterdale. Now ascending to Boredale Hause. Just look at that view. Now at Boredale Hause. And that's the way ahead. Now looking back across Boredale Hause to the path that heads towards Place Fell. Now on the path between Boredale Hause and Tarn. And those two are coast to coast walkers. This section of the route is part of the coast to coast path. And my luck, the clouds down on most of the tops. Tarn at last comes into view. There's a great view of Tarn and the High Street ridge right in the background. That's the way ahead, still on the coast to coast route. A lower view of Tarn. And there's the way ahead. Looking back the way I've come to Tarn. And there's the path I've just come up. Looking at Hayswater, High Street and the Knott. And there's the path snaking ahead. A magnificent view of High Street with Hayswater in the foreground. This is the way ahead leading towards the Knott. Can someone explain the logic of these path maintainers to me? There's a bit like this, which is the way ahead, and a few yards away, this sort of morass. Incredible. Summit cairn on the top of the Knott. And there's the path leading to High Street. And there's a view of High Street from the top of the Knott. Here's the junction where the coast to coast path turns left. And there's a tremendous view of High Street. It's definitely the best place called High Street. It's named High Street after the Roman road which goes along the top. Its summit is so wide there was once a horse racing track on there. I've turned along the coast to coast to show you a view down to Hayswater. Unfortunately it's very hazy today. I've diverted further along the coast to coast to bag the summit of Kidsty Pike, which you can see on the far right. There's the summit cairn of Kidsty Pike. View of High Street from the summit of Kidsty Pike. And descending Kidsty Pike back to the path towards High Street. Just look at this astounding view of High Street. The light is improved. That's the way ahead. There it is, the trig point on the summit of High Street. That ridge in the distance carries Hartsop Fell and eventually Kentmere Pike. There's the trig point again, and there's the wall that runs along the top of High Street. Looking down on Hayswater from the Roman road across High Street. great views. There are the three peaks from right to left of Frostwick, Ilbel and Yoke. That's the way ahead along the Roman Road. Approaching Thornwake Crag, you can look back on a lot of the route that I've passed. There's the Knott, and there's the High Street Bridge. There's the path I've just come down. There's the enormous stone pillar on Thornwake Crag. Just look at this view. There's Hartop Fell, there's Kidsty Pike, there's Ilbel and Frostwick. Just in the distance you can see the length of Lake Windermere. It's very hazy. Now descending into the Troutbeck Valley along the Roman Road, which is very indistinct for a Roman road. I've now descended into the Troutbeck Valley. I tell you what, there are no hordes of people here. I've now joined a decent track along the Troutbeck Valley. Superlative views. Still heading along the Troutbeck Valley. That's looking back the way I've come. It's such a good view, I had to show it to you. Still in the Troutbeck Valley, and now the valley is really opening out. That's the way ahead. Now on a lane heading to Troutbeck Village. I seem to have gone wrong on the Roman Road and come down by an alternative path. Now on a bridleway called Truss Lane heading for Troutbeck Village. Now on the main road near Troutbeck Village. This is where I'm ending the walk and I'm being picked up.